What's going on, everyone? ANCAP24 here, and today we're going to show you a cover 2 beating concept that can be found in a lot of different playbooks and a lot of different formations using similar type of routes. The reason why I'm looking at the gun trips tight and offset is because this particular formation has several different types of routes, and I want to go over each one, what I feel is the best one, what is going to be able to beat it, and what's going to be better against your cover 2 cloud flats, and what's better against your cover 2 soft squats. Now, for reference, this formation can be found in both the Cowboys and Seahawks playbooks. Those are the two that I like the most that have it, okay? So what we're going to do is take a look at fake screen wheel, and I want you to look at this B route. See how it goes up about 5 yards and has a pretty decent angle when it goes to the middle of the field. Now, if you look at the next example, I'm going to look at verticals. Look at the middle route. See how it goes up about the same amount of yards, but it has really a slight type of angle when it goes to the middle of the field. And the last one's going to be this tight end in. And what you're going to see is that it has a less of a vertical, but more of an angle, okay? All three of these routes can work. And I want to make sure that you see which ones I feel are the best, which are the most forgiving, and what you have to worry about depending on which one you're using, okay? So let's start off with my favorite. This is the fake screen wheel, okay? This B route, to me, is the best route to do this with because of the way that it has the sharper angle and a little bit of a deeper stem to make sure that it goes in the right spot. All you're doing is putting A on a streak, you're motioning the B over, and you want to hike it before he stops. And what you're going to see with this timing, if he doesn't stop, he goes up the field, you throw this ball over here, and you get yourself an easy catch. You can see how we were able to do this. Now, I want to make sure you know that this will work when they are not base aligned. Whether they are in normal depth or if they're pressing, this will work both ways, but it won't work when it's base aligned. Because what you're doing is you want to make sure that this guy goes to the outside with you. You're going up the field, and you can see he never gets a spot to bump you. In cover 2 cloud flats, there's supposed to be a bump to redirect you, but because of how wide you get him, you're able to go up the field, and then you get that angle, and you can see how we're throwing it away from the safety. To me, this is the most forgiving, meaning that because of the way the angle works, you're going to be able to, get a little bit, forgiveness in the timing of the snap to still complete this away from the safety. Right now, we've got 99 speed everywhere in MUT. And you really make sure that you get that away. Now, let's talk about the next route. The next route is going to be verticals, okay? Verticals is going to be this Y route. We're going to do the same exact route combination, just running with 2 routes just to make sure that you see that it's only going to be those 2 routes. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to motion this guy over, and you're going to hike it basically before he stops. And you're going to see that he's going to have that same ability to do it, and that's going to be the second favorite route, okay? Now, with this route, it's going to be a little bit more up the field, and you're going to be able to basically, time it right. If you don't time it correctly, it can get a little bit closer to the safety. Like if I hike it here and it takes a little bit longer, now I'm not going to be able really to throw that. Yes, I completed in practice mode, but I'm going against a slower, strong safety. I'm not going against a 99 speed. So this one's definitely one that if you get the timing right, you have no problem with. If you get the timing wrong, you can put yourself in a little bit of a spot where you don't want to throw that ball. So like I said, if you wait until the end and time it where you basically wait until he gets right there, go up the field, you got no worries, right? You got that throw, you're good to go. But if you hike it too quickly, then you're just going to get yourself in a little bit more of, basically a situation where you get picked off, more so than the fake screen wheel. The last one we're going to look at is the tight end in, okay? Now let's look at this one. And you can do the same thing, same type deal. But this is, again, one of those that I'm going to tell you that it's all about the timing. You basically have to time it before he gets up the field. And you can see how he's able to hit that. Now this one is more predicated on timing to get it past the cornerback. If you can see the other ones, the cornerback basically blew by him. This one's got more of a verticality to it. So what you can see here, or basically when he does this, that guy does not come down as quickly. So you're timing it to where you're throwing it away from everybody. Okay, still works, still a viable way to beat cover 2, but I want to make sure that you see the differences between all 3 routes and basically practice them to see what works for you when it comes to your comfortableness. Sometimes if you're using a lefty quarterback and you're throwing it to the right, it takes a little bit more time. There's a lot of little things that you want to make sure that you basically iron out when you do it. But all three of these routes are viable. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about soft squats. When soft squats are on the field, you can't attack them the same way. If I was to use my favorite route, which is the fake screen wheel, and put the same type of route combination on the field, what you should expect is the soft squat will go ahead and match the B receiver because there are only two verticals on the field, and you can see how he runs down the field. If you see something like that, you're going to know that they're in soft squats, which basically gives you a different way of attacking them. All you've got to do is basically put the A on a flat, and what you'll do against those soft squats is that will take that player and make them jump the flat pattern. What I want to show you is that I do not like this fake screen wheel route as much because what will end up happening most of the time is that that soft squat will run through the B and basically bump them. What you're going to see here is, see how he bumped them? Now, I was able to throw it, and I'm not saying that it can't happen, but what ends up happening is you're going to have a little bit more unpredictable results. And I want to make sure you know that when we're looking at this because I like to teach every little nuance so you understand what you're getting yourself into. When we do this, this guy is going to go through the player because of the way that the angle is. And when he does that, either he'll bump him slightly and we'll be able to throw this ball pretty easily there, or he'll bump him enough to where basically if he gets off of his path, it just kind of interrupts the timing of the throw. My favorite way to do this is actually the vertical route. And you're going to find this vertical route more often in plays because it is a little bit more of a route that it is common. So here's the play here. So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're just going to make sure that we take this player over. And once we see it, the angle of this is much better against soft squats. As long as we time it, it goes up the field. The guy comes over here. Even though we bumped it that time, it's actually something that when they bump, it tends not to be something that gets stuck. Let me run it a couple more times just to make sure that you see why it's better. It's just because of the fact that it goes up the field a little bit more and allows you to basically work the that spot. So let's go ahead and show it to you again. Make sure I got soft squats. I do. And let's go ahead and hike it. We'll be a little bit more quick about it. Here it is. That's what you're looking for. Okay. So because of that, it doesn't go to the right as much. It goes up the field, then to the right slightly. It works much better against the soft squats. So these routes are very similar. I don't want to make it to where they're totally different, but the little bit of a difference on them will allow you to basically get yourself more success knowing what to use against each. So just kind of look at this concept. I want to make sure that you see that this concept is something that can be done in a lot of different playbooks, but knowing that what you want to do is basically have an open side. What I mean by that is there's no receiver on the right. So this type of formations that you're looking for is something that you can motion across the formation. If you watch the Madden Bowl, D. Croft did something very similar to this out of the gun Y off trips Pats formation, that he was able to use a route like this to get over, because that formation allows you to motion somebody across the formation and behind the slot receiver to the outside position. You need to be able to have that to make this work. So go ahead and take a look at your playbooks. If you have this and you have a trips tight end, a trips offset, tray wide flex that has this type of route, you're going to have a lot of success using it in order to make it work. I do suggest having the tight end attached, because what he'll do in this type of situation is he'll go run the streak to kind of hold the safety closer to the middle of the field, allowing you to have a little bit more success when it comes to throwing this ball up the field to the B for the easy 20 to 25 yard gain away from the user who's covering the field. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you check out these videos below for the most helpful Madden tips. If you're looking to learn from the best players in the world, head over to www.playbook.gg for the most detailed game plans in Madden.